and welcome back to Angels in the Library, your favorite Hidden Realms channel. And
Hidden realms.
the Hidden Realms. On tonight's episode, we're gonna break down race, okay? Because race, as you know it, never existed. So essentially, I'm gonna actually also spend more time looking at the camera because I keep looking at the videos and I'm just looking at Dreek, and I just feel like I'm not even I'm just like this the whole time. So I just wanted to give you guys a little more eye contact as we break this down. Essentially, race, as you guys know it, is a lie that was made up and never existed. But race is real. I think the caveat on Earth is like, let's just throw race away altogether. But we know there's aspects of race that are real, right? Like we know that like there's certain things going on that seems like certain groups are participating in, and we know there's something real to it, but we also know there's a lot that doesn't make sense, right? And essentially, this is the most important information on Earth right now. Like, this is the main mission of the Age of Aquarius is to get out of physical race and get into spiritual race. So, physical race is a made up concept, but race exists, but it's in the spirit. And we're all participating in this, whether you like to believe it or not. Whether you believe what I'm telling y'all is true, it's what you're doing anyways, okay? And like I always tell y'all, and Dreek always tells y'all, what about the truth, Dreek?
What about the truth? It'll set you free.
And what and secondly, you can't argue the truth. Like this isn't a debate channel. This is just information. Like I said, you guys are already participating in spirit race. So essentially, the physical race concept is just a ritual, a magic spell that creates confusion. And it's here to divide and conquer. But it's really, really important to know like the real races because they're controlling the earth. And there are 4 root races. And so essentially on this channel, the first season that we're going to cover here is going to be strictly on spirit race because it is so important and valuable to understand. Because essentially, if you're under the physical race concept, it would mean that me and Dreek is the same race. Me and Dreek ain't the same race.
We're not.
We're not the same race, and that's really, and we know this because you'll meet people who look just like you, but you could they could be your ops. They completely different races of people who look just like you because race is in the spirit, not in the physical. Okay. So that's why people say things like soul tribe and this and that, because essentially we know there is something more going on. Like we know that it's not just like just physical, but people don't know the starting points, as Uriel would say, so you can understand it. And this information hasn't been able to come out because this would just change all of reality. Like if you knew that, you have a spirit family and you already interacting with them and everybody's operating like this and people aren't consciously aware. So as we move into the age of Aquarius and we talk about the 5D becoming the 3D, we're talking about being conscious of the higher realms in this dimension. So understanding spirit race would give you a higher consciousness in this reality to let you know what's going on, because the easiest way to get played is to be under the race spell. One of the easiest ways. But the reason why the race spell is so important is because it's such a it can govern so many people so quickly. And they don't have to change the concept. Like, let's say we're under other spiritual spells, like about relationships, those always have to change. Race is a physical construct they created to tell you that if we all look a certain way, we're all related, which could be so far from the truth. So, is there anything you want me to bring up, Drika, or any questions to add to this episode?
I was gonna say, so wait, the 5D isn't like nothing to do with towers or COVID? You remember they said that it was about like towers? What was it they were saying? The 5D had something to do with cameras or something.
Yeah.
It was like some big thing. Cell phones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be a whole video what entering the 5D means. But
Yes.
why do you think spirit race is so important to understand, Drake?
because we're different, and I want to rep my people. Also because it just helps you like understand, where everybody's coming from. I feel like knowing spirit race kind of basically gives you an idea of, okay, I know you would do that. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have
Yes,
insight on how a person is moving, and that's great to know because it keeps you, like you said, from getting washed up. Well, they can help you from getting washed up or
right,
getting used.
right. And I think the biggest reason why understanding spirit race to me is important is because we naturally crave our true identity. And so essentially, we all want to know where we came from. We all want to know these things. And in this reality, they got everybody looking up, digging up graves, doing DNA tests to find out where they came from. And it's just like you paying $5,000 to find out where you came from, and that's still not the answer, right?
Did you ever get the DNA test?
No, I've never gotten that.
Hmm.
Because I don't. I mean, because that's just against what the truth is. So that's
Yeah.
just a money scam. It's a money draw, and they want you guys to think of everything as physical. When we know the spirit comes before the physical. Like right now as you're watching me, you're inside of your vessel looking out, so you know that you're not this physical vessel. So the
Mhm.
fact that they can try to convince you that this way that you look is who you are. Now there is a component of physical race that we'll get into down the line, and that's where it gets even more confusion, but there is a component of the physical race aspect, but that isn't your race. There's only one race you could be, and that's the race of your spirit, like what spirit you have. And like Drake said, understanding spirit races, like you'll never get played again, or you shouldn't.
Hope
Like
so.
you shouldn't. If you get this information, you could really adapt. You shouldn't be like getting so washed up.
Right. You're gonna be like, I knew you would do that.
Right,
Mm.
right. And there was something else I wanted to say just about. Oh yeah, like, and I said earlier a little bit about the fact that people that want to be free thinkers or open minded just want to throw race out completely. But the reason why that hasn't been able to happen is because race is real. Like race is very real. Like but like I said, it's in the spirit, but there are real racial components. Like in every dimension, you are a part of a certain family, you are a certain person. And what I'm going to be breaking down on this channel is who you are outside of this world. When you take off this, when you're out of this vessel, who you really are and what you really look like. And that's essentially why that conversation can't work. And it's not because it's not a good idea, because the fake race concept is sticking more because it's more based in the fact that race is real. So something that's more real will always stick harder in any dimension. But the reason why we can't move past race is because it is real. And the only way you can be set free, like we just said, is with the truth. So the goal right now is to give you guys the truth and set you free so you can focus on things bigger than these rituals. And like I said, we're going to be addressing every lie on earth with the truth. And this is just the biggest one right now because it's everywhere. And it's like we're getting played in our
It's
face
been
by big,
pushed.
we say,
It's been pushed more recent, like as a money scheme.
in what ways?
Like I feel like we get everybody together, and you have like people that are like, oh, like we can push this more because I feel like, okay, all black people. Do you see that? It's like, well, we have to support black people. We have to support
Right.
all of these groups, and it's like, pushing a product or pushing
Oh yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, and it's like the biggest thing is that demons need fake concepts to win down here. Like real angels, we don't need to say, "Oh, everybody who's black or everybody who's white, everybody who's redhead, everybody who's Latina got to come support me." Like we put out the real stuff and everybody is supporting it because when it's the real, when you're real, you're connected to everything. You don't need a fake label. So that's the thing too, is like demons are taking big advantage of everything in the world because they got to come out and say, "Hey, I'm a black woman, come rock with me." And then a lot of people innocently get behind it because it sounds like a good worthy cause, and there are people that are black that are suffering. So that's the downside to it, is like people aren't just getting behind this like in a negative sense. There's people that genuinely want to help people, and it's not just people that are playing victim or all these things. There's things that are going on and they're taking advantage of it based around these concepts. So it's like, like I'm not mad at if you're under the race concept, it doesn't mean you a bad person. This means that that's the best way to understand reality right now. We can clearly see that we're looking at Africa and its really the way they're just doing terrible things with the cobalt, that we can clearly see there's racial injustice happening, but it's on a spiritual level. And that's what this channel is about, to address the root issue of why it's going on so we can actually get out of it. Because if we address the surface issue, they can keep playing us, they can keep taking advantage of us, they can keep doing this and driving people mentally insane.
Mm,
Because all witchcraft makes you get crazy mentally,
yeah.
because it's lower, it's creating a lower realm.
All realms and realities.
So that's really all I really wanted to say today. There's just a prelude because we're about to start the Spirit Race series. And you
Make
know,
sure you comment, rate, subscribe, and stick around so that you can finish the rest of the series too.
yeah, make sure you guys get into it. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and good night.